Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, it's Kate with Kate's Regretless Life. Let's go ahead and jump on in. I'm going to take a look at signs and symbols of the day, whatever the storyline may be. I'm going to get a couple more cards out, but we do have hope and we have suspension. So someone may be waiting breathlessly for, in this case, some kind of communication. We have air and we have rhetoric. I feel like somebody is either dealing with another person who they are like, oh my God, I feel like I'm waiting and waiting for some response. And then I feel like this character has someone else who is very cynical about perhaps love. It just feels a little bit jaded. And that is messing with this, we'll say, possibly a masculine's mind. We have a Five of Wands, and then we have Venus. This is about love. But whomever this feminine is, this is like the epitome of love. This feels like somebody is either looking at a temperature gauge, like maybe in a vehicle, or a temperature gauge, like even a thermometer that they, like maybe they're making, like if you make taffy or something or make candy and you have a candy thermometer. This could also though be a gauge on like some kind of heavy equipment, like a valve, let's say an air compressor, checking to see, how much pressure is in a tire, or something to do. Someone could work in like a machine shop, some kind of an industry, maybe medical equipment, something where gauges are important. Here with this suspension, we actually have what looks a little bit more like it's like an early submarine, but I would almost go to like a barometric pressure chamber, perhaps. That could be, I keep getting medical equipment and gauges and pressure. Maybe somebody's doing something with a pressure cooker, but I feel like this has to do more with his mind is a bit of a pressure cooker. He tends to keep his feelings more isolated, but in this case, he's really wondering what is going to come of this love. Now, let me go to the rhetoric card again. This is the one that is making me feel like somebody is actually cynical, being like, oh yeah, We have Eight of Earth, and we have this person who's like trying to make someone out of clay. We could have somebody that is sculpting things. By the way, we have beautiful brown eyes. But we've got, I'm hearing brown-eyed girl, and then I'm also hearing, because sad eyes never lie. I can't think of the rest of that song. Okay, we definitely have somebody sculpting out of clay, or they could have like a chia pet as well. But it almost feels as if it's like I'm just going to say what I really think on this, and forgive me if it comes out a little bit wrong. We have a divine masculine who hopes for the love of a lifetime, but then they have this cynical side, I think, of themselves. One of their voices in their head, and this masculine has a lot of different personas. He's super intelligent, which can be a blessing and a curse, because he himself can put himself through the ringer on all these different thoughts about, life experiences he's had. He may have been, let's say, idealistic at one point and then got tarnished, so now he's more cynical. He may have been someone who believed in certain things and then, had a hero, and then the hero didn't turn out to be a hero. So he may have had like highs and lows, like things he believed in only to be disillusioned by. And I think that's happened more than a few times in his life, and not just in love, but in other things. Sometimes we have an idealistic viewpoint of the world, and then we have a really unpleasant experience, and then we say, oh, that's shattered. Although oftentimes, I would argue that when we have idealistic views of things and the things get shattered, sometimes what we learned is how to still we can believe in the best, and they're everywhere. There are moments of stunning bravery and courage and heroic human beings that walk this earth in everyday life all the time. There are really beautiful things that people do, but when we get disillusioned, it's when maybe we're not very wise in who we chose. So let's use love as an example. Fell in love with somebody, we go, oh my God, this love's going to last forever. But say we married a cheater. And then we go, oh, I'm so disillusioned. There's no such thing as forever love. Well, that's BS. It's just that maybe we didn't have a really good way of evaluating whether or not the person that we wanted love to last forever with was really the kind of person who, is healthy enough or whole enough or stable enough or wanting to be in a forever connection. There's nothing to say that forever love isn't real. It's just that maybe we weren't wise enough on how we chose a partner. So that disillusionment, I'm just saying the disillusionment that he has and that voice in his head, he goes back and forth on, I'm sure that love isn't real. I'm sure that there isn't somebody. I'm probably making her up in my mind. I'm probably inventing who I believe she is. But at the same time, he's saying, but oh my God, I think she's the love of my life. And God, I hope that she's the love of my life. And I feel like I'm hanging on every word, or he's definitely built this up into like a lot of almost tension and pressure and a lot of thoughts. And then he's trying himself to cut this down, but not be realistic. Instead, to cut it down and be like, whatever, you know what, this is, this whole love thing, it's probably just a bunch of BS. And I'm probably inventing it myself, but oh my God, she's so amazing. She's somebody that I'm in love with. Okay, so we have a masculine who's way overthinking things. We have him as hopeful, and I would say hopeless romantic, who's been hurt before. And that is why we see him almost looking at his own wishes with scorn. Like, it's so stupid that I would even think love is like that. I'm probably inventing her. Or I'm inventing the way she sees me. For some reason, I get more that he's saying, I'm imagining the way I hope she sees me. That she would love me that way. Because there's something here. It's not that he's like against love, it's that there's a little bit of internal self-loathing here where it's like, yeah, but she probably wouldn't really feel that way about me. I'm probably inventing that. I'm imagining that I'm better, more of a catch than I actually am. Probably she wouldn't really want me. He's got some serious negative self-talk going on, and he's creating more tension, and he's unfortunately like he's setting himself up for any small thing. If he doesn't get like a really positive reinforcement from her, he may say, see, she's not interested in me, love isn't real, she certainly doesn't care about me, blah blah blah. And I think that he's going to be way too much like close to looking for something to dismiss that she could love him too. That's not a good space to be in, because that's where we sabotage, is my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right, I'm just saying that's my opinion in this. Okay, let me take another look here. Okay, so we have Empress in the reverse, and we have the Nine of Wands in the reverse. I don't think he realizes it, but he is still very wounded from, if he was married and divorced, he might have married his karmic. And the karmic is somebody who, it's really tough sometimes to figure out that somebody's a karmic, because, karmic lesson is just like, the way I interpret it anyway, is just when we've thought something and we get stuck in that belief system, even when evidence to the contrary is plentiful. Yet we keep saying, well, I don't get why this doesn't work. Well, it would be like saying, I'm in my car should go. The wheels move, but why is my car not driving? Well, because you didn't put gas in it. No, that can't be the problem, because, I have a car that isn't broken. There's nothing broken on my car. Yes, but you didn't put fuel in. And they just won't focus on that. They keep insisting that either the car should go, or maybe they're insisting the car is broken when it's not. It's just that you got to put fuel in. And it's like when you get into this thought pattern where all you can think is from one perspective, but my car, it's not broken, so why isn't it moving? And sometimes that blocks the obvious. The obvious thing is you got to put the gas in. And that's what we forgot to do. In this case, I'm just using that as like a kind of a weird example, because it feels like the one thing he couldn't understand is that I'm actually wounded because I was with a karmic who actually treated me really bad. I had a karmic energy in my life, and maybe I even married that person, and that person, instead of being loving and a supportive partner to me, maybe they tore me down every turn they got. Look, just like an emperor in the reverse, an empress in the reverse is going to be the toxic version of themselves. So if an emperor in the reverse is toxic masculinity, this would be toxic femininity. This is somebody who's emotionally manipulative instead of nurturing. This is somebody who is highly critical, uses guilt trips instead of actually like supporting someone or giving honest feedback, because they only view it from, this is what I want and I will do anything I can to get what I want, and I'll get you to do what I want you to do. I don't see you as a sovereign person. I see you as, I have a right to manipulate you to make you do what I want. If they were with somebody like this, they don't yet realize the impact that that ex had on them. And that is probably the core of why they are cynical about their ability to be loved. Because they were with somebody that didn't love anybody but themselves, but they didn't realize that bit yet. So now as they feel emotion for some completely different feminine, they're not hooked on their karmic, but they didn't realize the damage that a karmic did to their own self-esteem, or that might be the reason why they can't quite fathom that somebody would love them. And I really feel like that's the bigger issue. They wish, they hope that she could love them. Whomever this feminine is, there is something like, this is either a baby dragon or a phoenix rising from the ashes in this card. We see her swinging on a swing. We see her in all white. There's something very pure about her. She could live in an area where cherry blossoms are blooming right now on trees. She may be like, we see her in a swing, and so there's like an element of like carefree energy. There's something so fresh and so clean about her. So fresh and so clean. Yet they almost seem unwilling to even reach out to her, because it's like, I'm really drawn to her. Oh my God, she seems so loving. But you know what? She probably wouldn't feel that way about me. Probably this is so stupid that I would even think that she might want to like give that kind of love toward me. I wish she was real. I wish she was as beautiful, sensitive, loving as she seems. But even if she is, I'm sure it won't be given to me. She won't move in my direction. And there is something here, we could also look at this as like a compass, even though it's a gauge, it's not a compass. But because we see like thunder clouds here, and then we have clear blue skies here, and it's like, okay, which direction do I want to go? Their mind kind of keeps hovering around this negative cycle. And that negative cycle, if only they could connect it to the fact that the only reason they have such a negative view, especially of love, even though this is like they tremulously wish that that love was real, but then they keep telling themselves, yeah, it is for other people, it's just not for me. I invent things sometimes. I'm probably making this up in my head, and man, I'm good at telling myself stories. But it's all just because they ended up with the wrong person once upon a time. And look, an Empress in the reverse, because they can be master manipulators, she might have worked really, really hard to get him to believe that she was an Empress upright, and that her word was, like accurate, especially if she was busy cutting them down. She might have made it seem like, oh yeah, see, I'm going to tell you who you are, what's wrong with you. Yeah, she could have chipped away or made herself the authority on them. And they still haven't realized that that was super damaging, and that has impacted their belief that this soft, wonderful feminine that they see as like very, like the epitome of loving, but they think there's no way she could love me. Can I get another card here? Somebody might like blues music. They might play trombone, or they like jazz, blues. We have hermit energy. We have a Virgo here. I don't know if they're able to do this deep thought and understand this, though. Four of Swords. I fear it's going to take them quite a while to recognize where this negativity is coming from. Is there a way that... In fact, hang on. Before I even ask another question, let me ask just about her. Her name could be Hope, or she is their hope. I'm hearing like Princess Leia, maybe her name's Leia, or Carrie, right? Carrie Fisher played that role, but I'm hearing like, you're my only hope. Um, Queen of Cups sideways. Okay, so she definitely, they see her as like absolutely kind, generous, beautiful heart, but sideways, meaning, yeah, just because she seems really loving, maybe she isn't, but God, she seems so great. She seems so sensitive, so emotionally, and intuitive and kind. Queen of Pentacles, as we come over to Venus, that he keeps seeing her as like a queen that is rational, logical, very emotionally warm, but again, loving but grounded. Everything here, he's such a complimentary view of her. She could have a little bit of a sexy bad girl look, but then also an incredibly feminine look sometimes. Like when she does smoky eye, it probably looks really, really good. She could be a blonde, it doesn't have to be, or somebody with fairly like longer hair or something. But this would be a softer version, and then this is kind of like the evening look where it's a little edgier or something. But there is an element to her. I don't know if she has, I'm thinking like she may paint her fingernails or something, not in colors, but like in metallics, like metallic gold, or even like closer to like flesh tone, but keeping it shinier, if that makes any sense. There's something here about like bronze and gold being accent colors for her that could really work. I know she's holding like this glowing, like almost like a gazing ball or something, but there's an element where I keep thinking of it more like her fingernail polish or fingers or something. Like everything she touches turns to gold. She could be really, really good in business. That could be because of her sensitivity, but he's noticing that about her as well. So he already knows that she is grounded, logical. He has fallen for her. He has fallen madly in love with her, and he's either convincing himself that that's probably not even real, or even if I'm in love with her, she probably wouldn't want me. Is he gonna, well, actually, let me change decks. Let me go back to the original. What is he gonna do about all this? Because right now we just got him trapped in a cycle of negativity. We have the Phoenix rising from the ashes. Okay, this is fabulous. So he is going to get to the point where he frees himself from this negativity. He's going to get to the place where he's like reborn through the fire, through the ashes. I will say this, some other signs or symbols for him could be, I'm picturing more like a decal or something, or just the outline. We all know what a phoenix rising from the ashes kind of looks like, even on just an outline or a silhouette. But that comes across like, I don't know, I keep feeling like somebody has that image that even if they haven't recognized it, he might have that somewhere, like on an article of clothing, and he might notice it somewhere over the next couple days and be like, oh, how crazy. That's a phoenix rising from the ashes. That's a little bit like what my life has been like. I feel like the reason he's under this pressure and he's in this like pressure cooker. Somebody could be making crock pot food, by the way, also. But the reason I think he's in this pressure cooker is because he's about to kind of like bust free. He's about to kind of burst free of this thought process of negativity, and maybe he's about to recognize, what am I doing, insisting that I'm making this up in my head? Why am I thinking so negatively? If he can have that bust free moment, if he can, by the way, be careful if somebody's like having a burn barrel or something, like do not pour gas on something while it's lit, like be careful with explosions, be careful with barbecues, be careful with anything where there could be a sudden, explosion of fuel igniting. We have the Sphinx. And there she is, very calm, very mysterious, but we've got some mythical energy coming in. If he's about to have this breakthrough in himself, and he's about to have a breakthrough in regards to whatever it is that draws him to her, maybe if he stops, thinking too heavily about like oh my God, is this love? Is she this beautiful, wonderful queen? Maybe as he has a breakthrough, maybe he settles his energy a little bit and is finally able to say, look, I don't know who this new woman is. I only know I'd like to know her because she's a mystery to me. I'm drawn to her for some reason. That might lower expectations and make it more realistic. I don't know. Maybe we could be lovers. I think she's great. I'm drawn to her because I'd like to get to know her. I really don't know about her yet. To me, that's a way better way to start thinking about another person instead of deciding, oh my God, they're wonderful. They're probably a double dose of queen, and she's wonderful, but she probably won't want me. That's way too much projection with no facts. This says he just might be having a breakthrough from this stress he's been under. And maybe that's why the stress was mounting, because he's about to say, you know what? This is ridiculous for me to assume anything. I don't know who she is, but I would like to get to know who she is. That's, I think, way, way, way better. Final two messages here. We've got the Eight of Cups, and we've got the Seven of Pentacles, and those both came out sideways. I definitely feel like this has been a long time coming, but this could be him finally walking away from... I still don't know if he understands fully how damaged he was by that Empress in the reverse. But remember, we did have the Hermit and we did have the Four of Swords. So he has been slowly but surely working through this. Maybe meeting this other feminine, this, Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, feminine that he's so attracted to. Maybe she's been a really great catalyst to help him realize, oh my God, I've been healing for a while. And from whatever happened with my karmic, and I didn't even realize it. Because we did have those two cards, but I was thinking he was on the dark night of the soul and it was going to take a long time. It may not. It may even be that this is his last night of being stressed out and he has that breakthrough, and it's, the sun rises and he feels differently. And it's like, why am I thinking anything is negative or positive when I don't really know? But I finally feel like after all this time, I finally walked away from... It's funny because he's laying this broken heart down here and he has a new heart in his chest, if you look closely. This could be wonderful. This could be him finally actually feeling like, let me throw away the old wounded heart, because that was associated with that Empress in the reverse. And now I have a new one. I can do this all over again. Some things are beyond repair, and it's time to just say, I used enough of my time and energy thinking about whatever happened between me and that Empress in the reverse, or letting that impact me. I think he's getting over a karmic in this storyline, and he has a shiny new heart, and he's ready to maybe look at life a little differently and not have this immediate default of, it'll probably be awful, I'll just get hurt. Some signs and symbols of the day. Somebody could literally have the feminine that he's so intrigued by, so in love with, like I said before, she could be wearing smoky eyes. She could have really glossy lips or very nice shaped lips, possibly very white teeth, or somebody just did a tooth whitening thing. We do have trombone music, which makes me think of I'm specifically hearing jazz music from Paris 1940s right now, so just very specific. Also, we could have some Rolling Stones music mixed in as well. He could be any nationality, and I will say one thing, he has a decidedly old-fashioned energy to him, or a unique style to him no matter what. He's got his sense of fashion could be a throwback to a different era, but his sense of fashion or the way he conducts himself, there is something very classical, masculine, and I think no matter what, he looks really good in any style. He comes across as somebody who would be leading man material if you were in the movies or something. He's very attractive. I don't think he thinks that, but he is. I really think that Empress in the reverse really gave him a false impression of himself. He may feel like he's aged a lot. He actually only looks better as he ages. But that could be something that he's not really aware of. He could be somebody who has a tendency to, if he's sitting there, I'm picturing somebody who they'll squish their straw with their fingernail, or they will rip up a styrofoam cup, or they might do a little bit of fidgety things. They turn anything into like modeling clay, but he could also do something like with modeling clay. He could be good with his hands, really talented though, also with like an engineer's brain, but also an artistic brain. He could be musically inclined as well. But all of this says he does tend to overthink things, maybe because he is really intelligent. But what's interesting is sometimes you can have the most intelligent person ever, but they don't see the thing that's right in front of their face, which was, in this case, you were with a karmic, honey, and that impacted you, and that messed you up for a while, and you needed to get clean and clear of that. It's taken him some time, but meeting her, even though he's fretted over this for a long time, I think we're seeing him have the breakthrough. Maybe she's my breath of fresh air. Maybe she helped him to change his opinion a little bit and stop, imagining all this negativity and this sabotage. But yeah, he did not realize how badly he'd been messed up by a karmic. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. If you didn't already know this, if you go to the playlist on my channel, you will find all of the zodiacs. I do all 13, including, ophiuchus. I will say that I do Cancer on my other channel, which is called Tarot Dog, but all the other zodiacs I do on this channel. So you can find them in the playlist labeled for each of the zodiacs, or you can go to the live tab and you will find my content there as well. All right, guys, take care. Bye.